All right, guys, I'm here to talk to you guys about scallop season. Scallop season is something that not many people think about until scallop season rolls around. How are we going to keep scallop season around? Every year the number of scallops are declining and the number of scallop tourists are going up every single year. It's actually becoming exponential. Now, what does scallop season do for us? There are a lot of indirect benefits. There are a lot of direct benefits. The next couple of slides are just going to go over some of the indirect, some of the direct benefits. Obviously, these aren't all of the benefits that it provides, but one of the big direct benefits is going to be money. You've got additional patrons and income at places like restaurants, hotels, and other local attractions. You've got revenue from gasoline taxes, bed tax revenue, job creation. Jobs are getting created because of scallop season. Scallop season is second to manatee season in most terms, but the indirect benefits, the word of mouth advertising for local businesses, the increased quality of life for local residences, sustainable development of new businesses based on the scallop tourism industry. Again, that's the job creation that we're talking about. But what happens when we get to a point where we're enjoying all of these benefits? These are literally millions of dollars that are getting spent in our local community here every single year. This is a 2003 study that was done by the TDC and University of Florida. These numbers are way out of date. This is actually tripled, if not quadrupled. But can we keep it up? Can we keep increasing the number of scallop tourists while we keep decreasing the number of scallops? If anybody's been out scalloping this year, you'll probably understand when I say they just weren't there this year. Everybody, you've heard people talking about, like, we just couldn't get on them. And this number, this is provided by FWC, this is supporting that. The green is we are okay. We're going to have plenty of scallops no matter what. When you get into the yellow, it starts becoming questionable. Are we going to have enough scallops for next year? Are we on the verge of some sort of collapse? Now, since 2011, we've been in the yellow. That's just the open season. This is during the closed season when they're supposed to be protected and breeding. Again, you see a downward trend since 2011. So this is FWC saying this. This isn't just me saying I had a bad scalloping year. Everybody's feeling it. So will it happen again? So in the 1990s, the scallop numbers dropped so low that the FWC actually decided, okay, no more scalloping. They closed it down completely for a while, and they actually opened it up to recreational harvesting, but there were very strict stipulations. But can we prevent this from happening again? It's absolutely preventable. Back in the late 90s, they actually did, it was a combination of organizations, did a restoration project. And this restoration project involved several phases. Here, this is actually a quote by FWC again, and they specifically reference Crystal River, Homosassa. And you can see that they recognize that in 2000 the numbers increased substantially because of these restoration efforts. But what happened to those? And that was the question I asked myself. How did they do this, and why aren't we doing it anymore? The answer to that question is these restoration efforts were basically they take larvae, they grow them to a size where they can actually keep them in a pen, in a cage in the Gulf, and they raise them and they let them breed. Anybody who's been scalloping in Crystal River has probably seen this at one point in time. This is the Bay Scallop platform. This is what they grew them in. Those are actually, they're underwater cages, metal cages that are below this. And this thing was used for 2 years and is completely sitting out there rotting. How do we get to use it again? Actually, as of September 10th, a little less than a month ago, I purchased it. I actually now own this scallop platform. And yes, I will let me use it. So what are the next steps? How do we get this ball rolling again? Obviously, it's a very complex thing when you're talking about growing these scallops. There's a lot of biology involved. There's a lot of, obviously, money involved, a lot of people's resources and time. Number one, we need to create a nonprofit. The main reason I'm here today is to try to spark an interest, and if somebody in this room is not interested, somebody knows somebody who is. And those people can help me find somebody to create this nonprofit. We need a board of directors. We need people that share that same interest, that want to protect not only the environmental aspect of these scallops, but the economical impact that they have. Picture Citrus County with no scallop season. So if we gain support from these organizations, Duke Energy actually has an on-site hatchery. You'll see it's actually, you see the 8 squares in a row on the right side of that picture. They have an on-site hatchery where they grow and they raise and release larval and fingerling fish into the wild. We can use that same facility to grow these scallops and put them into the scallop rack. So we also need support from the EDC, TDC, and Board of County Commissioners. Everybody, those guys, including every business owner that has any sort of interest, any sort of charter business, hotels, restaurants, anybody who benefits from this should have an interest in it. And obviously, we need to get funds. This is where you guys actually get out and write me a check. You know, those are the next logical steps, and anybody that is interested in the project, willing to help in any fashion, offer any sort of advice, there's my contact information. Obviously, it's only going to be up here for a second, but anybody, I'll be around for the rest of the night. Anybody that wants to speak with me, talk to me, contact me, I'd be more than willing to sit down and talk to you about this. It's not just hypothetically, what do we do? This is a recipe for how we fix these things. So, thank you guys.
Thank you, Keith.